In WordPress, it is really easy to publish blog posts. After all, WordPress was created first as a blogging platform. When you're logged in into the admin area, go ahead and look in the left sidebar menu and click on Posts. You will see the list of all of your published posts in here. We want to add a new post. Go ahead and click Add New. Let's take a look at the interface of our post editor over here. We have the title of the post that we need to enter over there, and we have the body of the post. You can also check a couple of other things like the categories, featured image, text. So we're going to take a look at all of those. So first thing, let's go ahead and enter a title for our blog post. In this case, we're going to be publishing an article about Pilates benefits for everybody. As soon as you finish typing your headline, you will see that there is a permalink that appears underneath. You can add it how it appears. So if you have a really long blog title, you can always shorten it so that it's easier to share and it's more search engine friendly. We're going to click on OK. So if you have a lot of articles or stop words in your article title, make sure to take those out so that your URL doesn't contain like 5, 6, 10 words over there. Now we come to the part where we're actually adding the content of the article. You can type in your article straight here, or you can also post it or copy and paste it from somewhere else. When we look at the editor, we see that there's a visual tab and a text tab. Visual editor will give you more of the visual experience, kind of similar to what you will have in Word or Pages, whatever the Google Docs. If you go to the text, you will see that the kitchen sink is missing with all the icons and you have all the stats. In this area, you can add your HTML tags if you're comfortable with those. For right now, we will be working in the visual editor. By default, you won't see all the formatting options open. Once you click on this toolbar toggle or this kitchen sink, you're gonna have more options open up. I already have my article written, so I will just copy and paste it in here. When we're copying any of the content from another document, text document, most of the styles are going to be imported with our content. So if we take a look over here, we see that there is text and also there are all of this text. So these are the HTML tags that give our text a little bit of format. So it's not just a block of text. We can sometimes, if you are adding a heavily formatted text into your WordPress, your fonts might look weird or there will be a mismatch. So we can always clean out any of the tags by clicking on this clear formatting. So let's go ahead and take this area and we're going to clean. So you see that this bold text has disappeared, and if we go look back at the text editor, we see that all of those p tags are gone. You can do that if you see that your the layout of your text looks kind of weird, and it's always best that you do that before you start making any of the other changes. So we're just gonna go ahead and do the same thing with the rest of this article, just to keep things clean. When we're publishing articles, we want to make sure that we're breaking up content with headlines, bullets, images. Basically, we're making it easy for people to read it. Let's go ahead and take a look at this little subtitle. We have several points over here in the article. So we're going to take a look at this one. We're going to give it a heading. If you click on the toggle under paragraph, see that we can choose different headings. We're going to make it heading 2. Headings also tell search engines what your website is about. Make sure to use them in the correct order. You never want to use the H1 heading in your post article, because most of the time when the article is published on the website, your main heading is going to be the title of the article. You want to have only one H1 or heading 1 title on any web page. So just kind of skip the heading 1 in your articles, but you can use all the other ones. So let's go ahead and add the formatting for the other guys as well. And the last one. Now let's say that we wanted to add some of the bullets. So we will add a little section over here. We can click on bullets and just add whatever it is that we want to say here. And we can make our text bold. We can italicize it. Basically do all of the normal formatting that you would do with any other text editor. You can also change the color of your text. If you click over here, here are our colors. You can make the strikes through, and WordPress also gives you a couple more formats as a lead paragraph, which will have a larger text, small, block quote. For right now, we're going to keep it at this. A lot of times when you're publishing an article, you would like to add links to other resources. Maybe you want to link to other pages of your website, other blog posts, or cite some of the other resources that you want to mention. So let's say that we want to add a link right here. We're just going to call it click here. We're going to highlight and we can click on the link icon. We can just paste the URL right here. If we click on this gear icon, we can see more options. So in the search, you can search all of the posts and pages or any other content formats that you have available on your website. Let's say that we want to link to our contact page. All we have to do is go to type in the contact, and it's going to be right here. If you're linking to an outside resource, for example, another article, you might want to check this open link in a new tab. That way, when people click on it, they will still have your website open and they will not lose it. So we can click it over here and add link. You can see that this is highlighted in blue and our link has been added. So we're going to take it out for right now because we don't need it in this particular article. Now we've been working on this post in the visual editor, but we don't really know what it looks like on the website. We can preview our article. Before we do that, let's go ahead and save it as draft. So click on the Save Draft button to make sure that we don't lose any of the changes. Next, we can click the Preview button in the right column, and it will open up the preview on the website in your theme that you have set up. You can see that here's the title of our article, here's the body, and we have our little subheadings and our comment form. If we look at this article, it still kind of looks very boring because it doesn't have any images. So let's go ahead and add a couple of images over here. Let's add an image at the top of the article. To add an image, we're going to click on this Add Media button above our visual editor. Click on it. We already have several images that have been added over here. So let's pick just a single one that we have. Let's say this one. Now, when we are adding an image, we have several areas that we can format. First of all, we have the URL, which we're not going to change. This is the link to our image. If we didn't have a link, we will click on this Upload Files tab and click on Select Files. Or you can also drag and drop files straight into this window. So we have our title. We can take it out or you can leave it as is. We can add a caption for our image. So that's going to be the text that will be displayed right below the image, and the alt text. The alt text is actually the text that search bots like Google bots are going to use to read what the image is all about. You want to be descriptive and really say what is the image about. So in this particular case, it's going to be women exercising during a group reformer class. And in this particular case, since we're talking about benefits of Pilates, we can say healthy women exercise. And so you kind of want to give your image the title that will be in line with the content of your article. We don't need to add any description. Now we come to the area where we can center or see how our image will be displayed. We can align it in center, which we will do with this particular image because it's horizontal. It's going to be easy to read. It will appear right under the title of the article, but we can also place it to the left, right, or just none. We can link it to something. Currently it's set to link to none, but we can link it to the media file itself. So if somebody clicks on the image, they will just see a larger version of it. Or you can link it to a custom URL. Sometimes if you are using the image to link to a different resource, maybe a different page on your website, you have some kind of call to action on the image, you might want to link it to a different resource. In our case, because I'm not linking to anything special, I'm just going to click it to none. And finally, we can choose the size of the image. We have our full size, large, medium, and thumbnail. So we can choose which one of the sizes works for us. In this case, I'm going to keep it at full size, and the image is going to be just responsive. If you're using any of the smaller sizes over here, the image is going to be cropped, and you might want to use it if you are placing the image to the side. So we're going to keep it at full size. Now let's say that you have an image, but you want to edit it. So first, let's go ahead and click over here, and we see that our image has been added to the website. If we click on preview, here's the image right under the title of the article. So we see our image and we think like, oh, it's too large. I want to crop part of it out, or I want to make any of the other changes to the image. You can click on the image and choose this pencil icon. We can change our alignment over here, and we can click on the button to edit original. WordPress gives us several basic ways to edit our images. We can flip it horizontal or vertical. So let's say that your image has wrong alignment, wrong positioning, it's like upside down. You can change it over here. You can rotate it clockwise, counterclockwise. You can also crop it. So let's say we want to crop out the top so it's more of a horizontal image like this. We're gonna find our selection and we can click on crop. I'm not going to be doing it in this case. We can also change the size of the image. So if we go back to our editing options, over here we have our new dimensions, so we can scale the image for the right size that works for us. We're going to go back, and we didn't really have to update anything, and we're previewing it, and we can see that the image is still here, and we have all of our text here as well. It's really important when you're adding images to the website that you're keeping your image dimensions consistent throughout the website. This is something that will give your website a nice, elegant look, and that will give it like a very finished look. We have a couple of other areas that we can edit before we publish our blog post. We have the categories. So in this case, we're going to add our post to the Pilates Living category. If you don't have the category that you like, you can always click on Add New, and you will add another Pilates workouts. Let's say Add New, and the category will be added. Your article can be published in several categories at the same time. We have tags. If you want, you can add those. I tend to not use tags on my blog posts, but if you like them, feel free to add those. And finally, we have the area for featured image. Featured image is used in the theme that's used on your website to display the featured image for a blog post. Depending on how your theme is set up, this featured image will be displayed in different spots. So let's go back and we click on this particular website, and we see that over here, the featured image is displayed in a grid format to the left of our short blog description. We will go ahead and set our featured image over here. Let's go ahead and click it. And you can choose one from the media library. Since we already added this image to the top of our article, we're going to use it as a featured one as well. This particular theme uses featured images that are at least 675 pixels wide. If the image is not that wide, it will not be displayed so that it looks good on all devices. So you don't want the images that look grainy or stretched out. So make sure that your image is at least 675 pixels wide. Let's go ahead and preview our post one more time. So we can open up, and over here we can see that we have our image, but something else changed. In this particular theme, the featured image, if it's large enough, it can also be displayed in the header of the blog post. Let's just change it to a different one and see what it's going to do then. So let's change it to a smaller image, like this one, for example. And we're going to preview it. And then the image is gone just because it's not wide enough to take up the full width of the page. Now it's time to publish our blog post. We're going to save it as draft one more time just while we're recording this video. Let's take a look at this little publish area tab of your WordPress editor. We can obviously publish it as draft, or once you publish it, it's going to be a published post. We have several different visibility options. If you click on edit, we can create it a password protected post or a private post. Basically, it means that only people with password will be able to view it. Most of the time, you will not be using it on public blog posts. We have our revisions, so you can, if let's say you weren't able to save the blog post or you made some changes and you don't like how it looks, you can go back to some of the previous revisions and take a look at those. And finally, we have the publish immediately. In this section, we can choose when our blog post will be published. Let's say if you don't want to publish the blog post immediately, you can change the date to different, like several days in advance, for example, and it will schedule a blog post to be published at that particular day and time. We're going to click on OK and schedule, we'll go back to our blog. You will see that the blog post is not present over here because it hasn't been published, it has been only scheduled. We'll go ahead and change that. And we'll just change the date to the current one. And now we can publish our blog post. We'll go back to the blog and refresh it. Our blog post is right here. Let's go ahead and click on it one more time. We can see that our blog post is in place. Now, one more thing that we might want to do with it. We published our blog post and we're viewing it, and maybe we want to change something real fast. There's an easy way to get to your blog post without going straight into the admin area and to the posts. As long as you're logged into your admin account, you will see this black menu bar at the top of your WordPress site. This menu bar will not be visible if you are not a logged in administrator user. So we can click on this edit post icon and it will take us straight to the article. Let's go. If you click on the link, you're going back to the article. Another part where you can find it, there's an edit link right here, and you can see that this edit link will be again available only if you are a logged in user of the WordPress site. So we can click on it as well, and you go straight to the editing page for the website. But you need to make sure that you're logged into the WordPress site, into your admin area. Otherwise, those options are not going to be available because you don't want, obviously, your website visitors to be clicking any of those buttons because they don't have access. You don't want them changing anything. Our blog post has been published. We can go back to our post. We can see that the blog post is right here. We have our categories, we have everything set up and ready to go. The best way to get comfortable with publishing blog posts in WordPress is just to do it a couple of times. Play with it. Don't be afraid of trying things out, pressing different buttons. Just read, get comfortable with it, and try it. You can always go back to the revisions. If you accidentally delete your blog post, it's going to be hiding in the trash over here. So unless you actually empty out your trash, there's going to be one of your blog posts still sitting there waiting for you to restore it if you need to. So happy blogging!